Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. Senior Lib Dem MP Sir Alan Beith has said that silly interpretations of equality laws are forcing British Christians to hide their faith. Speaking at his party's conference in Glasgow, he said people feel they are being asked to hide their religion and that secularism requires not wearing religious symbols. Mr Beith, who also chairs the Commons Justice Select Committee, continued, "Sometimes the completely false interpretation of laws, regulations and changes leads to that happening, when it wasn't even the intention in the first place." Meanwhile, fellow MP Greg Mulholland is concerned that there's a growing attitude in the party that Christian views should be firmly kept out of political arena. He added, "If this trend continues, the Liberal Democrats could no longer be seen as a place where people of faith feel comfortable." The concern was highlighted after one delegate, Callum Leslie, called for all Lib Dem MPs who voted against gay marriage to be thrown out of the party. And leader Nick Clegg was also not showing much tolerance after using his keynote speech to insult peers wanting to maintain the traditional meaning of marriage. Mr Clegg said that whilst he and Alistair Carmichael were celebrating the redefinition of marriage outside the House of Lords, dinosaurs were on the inside voting against it.
And Alistair and I found ourselves standing side by side, not hand in hand, in front of the exuberant London gay men's chorus. And they were singing ABBA's Dancing Queen for us at the top of their voices. Meanwhile, inside the House of Lords, dinosaur opponents of the bill were having a final go at killing it, declaring that gay marriage would be the end of civilization as we know it.
Christian hotel owners Peter and Hazelmary Bull have put their business, which is also their home, up for sale. The couple, who have a policy of only allowing married couples to share a double room, were ordered to pay £3,600 in damages to Stephen Preddy and Martin Hall after refusing the two men the room. Since the incident, Mr and Mrs Bull have faced death threats, vandalism and had their hotel website corrupted. They also recently found a dead rabbit nailed to their fence. The hotel was also removed from an English Tourist Board approved list, and now, after a steady drop in business, the Bulls say they can no longer afford the mortgage repayments. Only half of their rooms were filled this summer, and Hazelmary said, "We must have been the only place in West Cornwall that had rooms left." She added, "Last winter was terrible. We were actually shivering and were hungry. I never thought it would end like this." Having lost a legal challenge at the Court of Appeal, their case is now set to be heard at the Supreme Court next month. An atheist church which held its first meeting in London just 8 months ago is set to launch 20 new congregations across the UK and worldwide. The Sunday Assembly was formed by stand-up comedians Sanderson Jones and Pippa Evans, who say they like many aspects of religion but don't believe in God. Now the pair are embarking on a world tour and plan to form satellite congregations in a number of cities, including Leeds, Glasgow, Dublin, New York, Vancouver and Sydney. But Nick Spencer of religious think tank Theos said similar groups that formed in the 19th century disappeared within a couple of generations. He continued, "I suspect what brings Sunday Assembly together is a real desire for community, when in a modern, urbanised, individualised city like London you can often feel very alone. That creates a lot of camaraderie, but the challenge then becomes what actually unites us." A church group in Shetland which uses a local community hall has come under fire for displaying its support for traditional marriage. New Life Shetland has a designated notice board at the Sandvane neighbourhood centre in Lerwick and pinned up a postcard encouraging the people to sign the Scotland for Marriage petition. Pastor Jamie Tong said the information simply represented the church's beliefs and support for traditional marriage, but a local youth worker objected, saying it could offend gay youngsters. He removed the postcard, saying it was at odds with the Youth Service's commitment to equality and has referred the matter to the centre's managing committee. A Scotland for Marriage spokesman said, "This is a taste of things to come, unless the Scottish Government provides proper safeguards in the same-sex marriage bill. This kind of witch hunt against people who believe in traditional marriage has no place in a modern, tolerant Scotland." And finally, a new Faith Heritage Centre is to open next year in North Wales that will tell the story of the Bible's impact on Wales and through Wales. St Buno's Church at Flanakill, Bala, will be the site of the visitor centre. The church was bought by the Bible Society in 2007, which has strong links with the area. Displays will tell the story of 15-year-old Mary Jones, who in 1800 walked 25 miles over barren terrain to Bala to buy herself a Bible in the Welsh language, which she'd been saving for 6 years. The clergyman in Bala at the time, Reverend Thomas Charles, known for his passion for teaching children, was so touched by Mary's determination that he helped establish the Bible Society shortly after. Reverend Charles is buried in the churchyard at Flanakill, and the centre's opening in 2014 has been timed to coincide with the bicentenary of the preacher's death. James Catford, head of the Bible Society, said, "Bible societies throughout the world are indebted to the nation and people of Wales for establishing what is now a global movement operating in 200 countries." Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.